Okay, and we are live on YouTube. Welcome everybody to PieDAO's development call number 4. Today we are going to be going over some exciting stuff. The new D app or Pools app is going to be developed. So no introductions necessary today. I think everybody who's here has been introduced before. We have Mick, Alessio, Gab, and myself. So I'll move right into the Pools app. So as I mentioned last week, Nico has been doing some good work developing a new application layer, specifically a add liquidity, remove liquidity layer for our pools. And this is kind of where it came out. This is a simple interface here. You can see we've got balance, some information about the farming rewards through Balancer Labs or liquidity mining, depending on how you want to say that. We got links to our audit and Etherscan and some good info, the allocation breakdown that we had before. And most importantly, the ability to add liquidity from a single asset, which I think will be a bit of a game changer. We're also going to be listing all of the places where you can actually go ahead and buy the pool directly here. And I know there's some new stuff being developed around landing pages as well, which I think we'll probably have in story form and be ready to announce either on the community call on Thursday or by the dev call next week. So that should be fun too. We're really excited for this stuff. There's multi-asset minting, and there's the ability to withdraw your assets, which currently you can only do from Etherscan. We've got withdraw to a single asset and withdraw to all of the underlying assets. And then we also have this beautiful Uniswap style modal token selector when you're picking which asset you want to work with. So all of this is, or almost all of this is encompassed in a group of stories that can be found at pools.piedao.org/stories. Those are have a few more minor revisions to go through, and then they're going to be put up in the ZenHub board as GitHub issues around this new repository that we have here. Not 100% sure that pools.piedao.org will be the ultimate URL for this, but we are envisioning this as a full app unto itself that will be able to work with multiple asset pools that we have. So as we roll out the and bring more liquidity into USD++, and also roll out the DeFi token that's begun being discussed in Discord, I think that is going to provide a much cleaner experience for our users to interact with all this stuff. So we've got this epic. One major change in the way that we're going to be developing going forward is we're almost positively going to be using Svelte instead of React for new apps. We've been playing around with that a lot. A number of teams in the space are starting to move over to it, and it looks like a really mature framework that's a lot faster than React, and both to develop and to render, and should result in a much smaller package. So right now our JavaScript packages are about 3.5 megs on btc.piedao.org and usd.piedao.org. So we definitely want to bring that down if we can. We'll also have some new fun charting around using D3 and Victory and some other stuff like that coming out. So this is all fully functional with the Tailwind styling that we already have, but will allow the development of the actual binding and rendering layer to be much more like standard vanilla ES6 JavaScript, which I think will make the process of developing much nicer. And should get rid of all the kind of cyclical rendering lifecycle stuff that we've dealt with in the past. So within this epic, we have a number of stories, everything basically but this blank feature, which is in here just for a simple way to copy and create another feature story. So we have, kind of starting from the top, the balance feature, and this is fully described. including the precision that we want and the logo, the positioning, all of that. And we have definition of done. We have stories in here for pretty much everything except for the withdraw through single and multi-feature. We're waiting to just finalize some details about the add liquidity single feature and multi-feature. We'll see, you can see as you go through these, and this is some of the stuff that needs to be finalized, as we need to put the formulas into the stories so we know that everybody can follow along and do this correctly if it's something that gets taken on as a bounty. So one of the things I'm really excited about with this, speaking of bounties, is that we now have something for DApp developers to start to work on within the bounty program and earn some dough. So if you're watching this and you are a DApp developer, you comfortable with JavaScript, Svelte will feel very similar to JavaScript. If you can do React, you can do Svelte, so don't let that stop you. We'd love to have you be part of the extended development team and take on some of these stories. We're going to be going through a relatively quick life cycle with this, targeting a completion of all of the features in about 2 weeks and some modification tweaks over the course of the days following that, with a hopeful launch around July 15th. So if you do want to take this on and be part of the team, please be ready to move quick. And so that would probably be good to hop into the Discord development channel in the next day or two and start talking to Mick and I about what you'd be interested in taking on, and we can go into more detail, or you can help refine the stories and get a bounty ready to go. I will be putting up the base layer application for this tomorrow, and moving the stories that are ready to as final stories into the actual Zen Hub issues and moving this forward. So we are going to be starting with this right away. Let's see, Svelte, if you've never played with it before, is a really great, really easy to use framework. They've got this great tutorial that you can go through if you're interested in learning a little bit more. It starts with very basic standard hello world stuff and moves into binding and image attributes and inline styling and all sorts of other fun stuff. There won't be a whole heck of a lot of inline styling given our Tailwind scripts, but this does allow for it if there's individual tweaks that we want to do. And you'll see this, these files generally wind up being substantially smaller than your typical React library. So I am in particular very excited to be working with this. I've played around with Travis a bit on Svelte, and also done a couple of example projects for myself to make sure that it works well. And so far it's really nice and easy. Another kind of cool thing about this, if you start playing around with it, is once you have a basic app, you can actually go ahead and directly download that app and use it locally. So their REPL is really great if you just want to play and get started with some stuff. So please join us in Discord in the development channel if you're interested in being part of this, and we hope to see you there. It looks like Travis was unable to join us today for the bounty updates, but I can give a brief update on that. We have 2 of the 4 features that are being developed complete and merged in, and Travis is going to be adding the add and remove liquidity through single asset stories this week. I did have a commitment from him yesterday that that should be done by the time we have our next call. And so we're looking forward to rolling out a new version of the smart contract implementation in the next several weeks, probably for July 15th as well. We're going to be going into an audit cycle on that next week. Mick, do you have anything you'd like to add on the smart contract side?
No, there's still quite some stuff that I need to finish, but hopefully I will get it done by the end of the week. And Yeah, I was just looking positive, like nothing major, just quite some work, but not no big challenges there. So that's
Awesome,
yeah.
awesome. So yeah, hopefully we should have a nice big update around smart contracts, and we should have a nice bit of the new pools application ready to demo on the call next week. So looking forward to a much bigger call next week and longer call.
Mhm.
So unless anyone has anything else to add, I think that's it for our updates today. Alessio, you have anything you'd like to put in?
Oh yeah, I had to unmute myself. Nothing really. Like, I think I've been looking at this belt stuff myself a little bit yesterday. I think it looks fairly simple, like compared to other alternatives. So that's I'm all of pro simplicity in this regard. I wonder if there is any kind of pool of talent we can source resources from the spelt community. I would expect us being able to have like a bunch of very active, committed people, maybe interesting. It's my understanding that there is actually not a framework, but it's actually a language in a way, which is basically introducing like a bunch of concepts that Elm did before, like, and all these reactive functions stuff.
Yeah, that's correct. It's similar to
on it.
TypeScript in that it compiles down to raw JavaScript, but it does need to be compiled.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there are pros and cons in introducing a new language. It seems fairly simple enough, but I think a lot of the adoption will depend on, if people basically adopt this language or not. I think we will see. Yeah. But besides that, no major concern. I'm just, I just hope like that we will not find any. How would you say, like, major roadblock compared to like previous development environment.
Yeah, most of the previous packages that we have should work more or less directly. It's the React component ones that we'll have to rework slightly, but we wanted to rework the Ethereum connection anyway to make that work better with mobile and stuff like that. So I'm very excited to see how it turns out. I think it's going to be nice and smooth.
Sounds good. Okay, great. Then I think on any other updates, we should be pretty much there. On
All
the
right,
DAO
great.
side, I believe we are gonna summarize the next steps after Nick's proposal anytime within the afternoon. And we can
Yeah,
I
we
did-
did do some upgrades to the DAO today. We launched some votes for new apps. So if you take a look, if you are a DAO holder, Mick, as Alessio mentioned, will be giving some more context around these votes. They're a little bit cryptic, but you can see the vote 162 and 163 here, which are upgrading and adding a new instance of the, this one is the agent, is it?
Yeah, the second one was the agent, and the first one.
This is the voting app. Yep.
Yeah.
And this is the agent app. So
Yeah. And put a comment on the forum about what we actually did.
excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
So forum.piedao.org, if you're not familiar with that, there are links, as I mentioned every call, to Discord and the forum on piedao.org. So if you would like to check out any of our community stuff, please do. And as always, this is being streamed to YouTube, so it should be available for anyone who wants to view it later. We're looking forward to having some more people join us in the call and having some more stuff for everybody to do as we move forward. So thanks everybody for joining today, and we will look forward to talking with you more on Thursday on the community call and providing more updates next week.
Ciao.
Cool. Bye-bye.